Well, hello and good morning. I want to say
Morning.
big welcome to my very special guest, Elliott, today. So, why be part of your local music community, which of course includes your local retailers? And what does it mean to have your very own sheet music specialist? Well, you're about to find out. Yay! My name is Glory St. Germain from Ultimate Music Theory, and my very special guest today, and my dear friend Elliott Wessel, is he is the print music product manager for Schmitt Music. And Elliott has a widely varied background in retail and marketing and promotions. And he's also a man of many talents, which I'm going to dig a little deeper into this, including radio and theater, as well as musical performance. So welcome, Elliott, this morning.
Good morning, Glory. Thanks for inviting me.
That was the right answer. Morning, Glory. So maybe before we start talking about your print music specialist and all the things you do at Schmitt Music, which I know has been around for many, many years. You've got, I think, 14 locations in 7 states. So you are a busy man. But can you tell us a little bit about your musical background and your performance and tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, well, I come from a musical family, good Minnesota German Lutherans. Music was a part of everyday life and a big
Yeah.
family, lots of siblings, lots of cousins. My father was very musical. My mother was a piano teacher for many years and a church organist. Went to a parochial school where there was a lot of music. There was a piano in every classroom and a lot of singing, and it was just a part of day-to-day life. I took piano lessons, not from my mother, but I took piano lessons for a few years, and I did school band. I played the tuba and the trombone, and
Wow.
um, in high school, I picked up guitar and bass guitar, and continued with piano through that, and vocal singing, of course. And so, musical background, musical family. Like I said, it was just kind of a everyday part of life.
Wow. And I think it's so cool that, your position at Schmitt Music, which obviously is, head of the print music department, but you bring not only a vast knowledge in musical print music, but also just the experience as a musician. Like, what kind of stuff are you looking for and how can I help you? And you've had music teachers, so you know what it takes to kind of connect with them. And I do want to welcome the guests that are joining us today, both live and those that are watching the replay, and maybe just share a little in the chat box. What instrument do you play? And obviously Elliott plays a lot of them, so we want to talk about what is your description that you would say, what is having your very own sheet music specialist? So maybe tell us, what is a sheet music specialist, Elliott?
Well, I think most retailers that sell sheet music and books will have some kind of person dedicated to that product.
Okay.
So put simply, we call them a print music specialist. Um, a sheet music specialist is just somebody who knows the publishers, knows the products, is good with catalog numbers, and
Mhm.
mostly remembering what color things are. That's because that's great. So many things in our world are color coded, which
Yes.
is fantastic. So once you know your colors, you're in pretty good shape.
That's
Um,
that's really funny. I remember when I was first publishing the Ultimate Music Theory series, and I talked to people such as yourselves and many other of my colleagues that are in the print music industry, and they said, "Well, Glory, one of the most important thing is that each book is a different color, because people do talk about, oh, I want Ultimate Music Theory, I want the yellow book." So they do relate to the color, and it's important that the print music specialist can have all that at their fingertips, right?
yeah, and I've done training with print music specialists, and I always like to play that game. What color is it? What
Yeah.
color is Sean Book D? You have to know those things.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think all of our stores have a person dedicated to sheet music and books on staff, whether it's a part-time person or a full-time person. And we've always had that because that's such an important part of our business.
Mhm.
But you really have to think about it. If you're a teacher and you're using these products as part of your living, you have you probably have somebody who does your hair, and you probably have somebody locally who always works on your car, and you always have a contractor who you like to use to come over to the house and fix things. It's the same thing. If there are specialists out there in your community, and you should have one.
Yeah. That's really well put, I think, because not only are you part of the local music community, but I think when you're part of a retailer where you always shop, I mean, I think it helps you stay connected to the community, and you have so many resources too, because you're providing more than just products. So tell us a little bit about some of the resources that retailers do offer, such as Schmitt Music.
Well, first of all, I think most, especially the independently owned music stores in the country, the people on staff have an educational background. They have bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and we even have people with doctorates here in some of our professional instrument shops.
Yes.
So there are people with knowledge and expertise that you can ask questions, ask for advice. I think even the most basic thing is to just ask what's popular.
Yeah,
because most employees, even if they aren't piano teachers or vocal teachers, they know what's popular because they know what they sell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty easy to direct people that way too, just to get, a feel for what people in your community are using.
Right.
And it's different in every community. Our Minneapolis stores have a different assortment of sheet music and books in stock than our Sioux Falls, South Dakota store does, or our Omaha, Nebraska store does, because it is based on what the people in the local community are using.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it really gives teachers too, because for the most part, while you're getting musicians and teachers, but they probably are looking for music in a different way. One might be selecting music for their classroom, so they need to really know that there's going to be a continued method book that they can use throughout their classes. And there might be a musician who comes in who just wants to pick up a jazz book and
right.
Look for something with chords. So I think to have someone there that has that knowledge, first of all, you can get in and you can get out and get what you need in a hurry. I know that you offer more than just that information, though. You've got some
Sure.
resources in professional development as well. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I think this is a resource that a lot of teachers miss, especially the ones who are kind of focusing on purchasing and interacting with people online. Is the workshops that the publishers provide, that retailers provide on their own. We do a lot of events in our stores that are free events, and there's usually free stuff. And
yes.
I think having the chance to meet and interact with composers and authors and creators personally is invaluable.
Absolutely.
You aren't gonna get that anywhere else. So we do a couple of different things. Like every winter, we do a spring recital workshop where we have Schmitt Music employees who've been doing it for years and years. We'll sit down and play through all the new recital music that we can get our hands on, and we try to time it so that it's at the time where people are starting to plan for their spring recitals, and they just want to hear in person the new things.
Yeah.
So we do those kind of in-house multi-publisher workshops. We have our big expo event, which we've been doing for 82 years now. That's coming up, and we do that every August, and that's piano teacher focused and also sacred choral music. It's a 3-day event. It's all free. You've been a part of that. We get people from all over. This year we have E.L. Lancaster and Glenda Austin and Mona Regino, Joyce Grill, of course, we have every year. This will be her 27th year of Expo, I think.
Wow, that's awesome.
And then we're doing a full day with Jennifer Eklund and her team again this year, and she's going to do a little concert for us. So there's a lot of things like that are available. They're free. They're really invaluable, I think.
Yeah.
And we also do publisher-sponsored workshops where they send somebody out, and you can come in and hear their new music and interact with them.
I think that's one of the key things too, Elliott, is that it's, having an opportunity to connect online, such as Facebook and forums and groups and things like that is awesome. But there is a whole nother level of engagement and community when you can actually connect with people in person and actually, hold a book in your hand, go through it, look at everything. It's a completely different experience. And I know I've done ultimate music theory professional development workshops for you at many of your locations, and
Yep.
we've done that several times together. And not only was it great to meet with you in person and to actually see, well, where are you putting these books, but also to connect with the teachers and answer their questions one-on-one. And we had many teachers that I met, obviously joining the Ultimate Music Theory certification course, and they continue to, come back to Schmitt Music and be your customers, but at least because we had an opportunity to connect, they've now learned about the material. And I'm sure that teachers are so grateful, Elliott, for you providing these incredible resources, because it's very time consuming. You've got to find the speakers, the presenters, prepare the space, get your dainties. And I think you've got an amazing amount of free materials. You're very generous that way to hand out. And your lineup for the August 11th to the 18th is Schmitt Music Expo is phenomenal. Jennifer actually was my guest on one of my previous Ultimate interviews, and she is just a star. And her and I have connected many times, also at the in the Minnesota when we came down and did the music teachers conference together. So it's great because now you also have those friendships, right? One of the things I think that you and I chatted about a little bit earlier was in connecting with teachers, what do you see as the one thing that's maybe missing from today's music studios?
Well, I think retailers and publishers and teacher associations all are faced with the same issue right now, is where are the teachers that are under 40 years old?
Yeah.
They don't join things, they don't come to things. And we have to find a way to reach them and to include them in this part of the community. I'm toying with the idea of trying to have some kind of a focus group for teachers under 40 at our expo in August.
Yeah.
I'm open to suggestions on how to engage them and see what we have to offer. And one of the things that we have started that I think will help, which I don't know if everybody's heard of this, but there is an International Sheet Music Day,
right?
Which is the Saturday after our expo event. It's the third Saturday of August every year. This will be the third one.
Yes.
And International Sheet Music Day is kind of like Record Store Day for sheet music. We had some unique titles created that were only available at participating Sheet Music Day dealers. Things you aren't going to find on Amazon or things like that. Really interesting things. We had a Taylor Swift song, Never Before Published, and it's got the International Sheet Music Day logo on it.
Nice.
C.F. Peters in New York actually asked if they could participate, and they did this little collection of American composers, limited edition, things like that. So I think even if you're not engaging with your local retailer on a regular basis, events like this are things you can bring your students with and participate in. There's all kinds of activities you could do with your students for Sheet Music Day. Maybe a trip to the store to see sheet music, and not just digital printouts, things like that. Really interesting things.
As a teacher who is over 40, I certainly feel like I could open up my own sheet music store just because I have thousands of books and I never throw anything out. But I love to go to my local retailer and just see what's new. Like you said, go through it. But when you were talking about those younger teachers, and I shared with you before we went live, I think it's important that teachers such as myself that are teaching students who are now advanced and are starting to teach, and those students are all under 40, you're right. We need to embrace them and say, listen, maybe I need to go with you. Maybe we need to take our young teachers with us when we go to these events so that they can experience this, or even your advanced students, because they may want to start teaching. And, there is almost that disconnect between, well, I'll just teach, but I don't need to attend anything, thinking that you can teach as soon as you get to, level 8 in piano or something. But that continued education is so important. I know for myself, I'm always learning new things. Elliott and I met at the Retail Print Music Dealers Association, which is an incredible resource for connecting retailers and publishers and dealers so that we can all talk the same language, because we're here ultimately to support teachers and musicians and vocalists, right? That just want to learn and see what's new and stay fresh, right?
Well, the music community, there's kind of another level to it. The retailers and publishers is really a small, tight-knit community. I mean, I think a lot of people know each other and are familiar with each other. And one thing that is really important as a retailer is that our local teachers are communicating to us, what it is they need to use and what it is they're interested in. I think both adding Ultimate Music Theory and Piano Pronto to our stores is a direct result of not only me meeting you and Jennifer, but actually hearing from teachers and saying, hey, will you please carry Piano Pronto? Hey, can you get Tori in for an Ultimate Music Theory workshop?
Right.
That's the feedback we need.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of a multi-level community that we're all a part of.
Yes. I think it's really key to, and which is why, of course, I wanted you to be a guest here today, Elliott, was because it's so important to not only, look online for music, but to go into your local retailer, support them, because they are providing you with, a print music specialist. They are providing you with education and to help you in your professional development. And they're also giving you sweet deals on that music that you can go through it. And there's always specials. And of course, if you're attending workshops, there's usually some kind of either discount or free gift. So it's really important to embrace that community, not to mention the friendships that you're going to make. When Jennifer and I did a workshop for you and we were back to back, and it's really the first time that I got to meet her. And since then, our friendship has grown as well. So I think it's really important to support your local retailer, go shopping. I want to, invite our guests to maybe in the chat, just say, do you shop at your local retailer? Just give us a yes, or, who's the closest one to you, because we definitely want to support our retailers and our music community. I know there's a lot of young teachers. We talked about that. Is there maybe one tip that you'd like to share in sort of how we should take a next step towards our retailer?
I think workshops and events are kind of the key, and I think if you're a teacher and some teachers that are younger and maybe have a lot of students, but they haven't taken the time to join an association or to participate in things like that, make sure they know. Make sure they're on a mailing list for your local retailer. Make sure they know about a workshop, or just go, hey, have you ever gone to the Schmitt Music Expo? It's really fun. You should come along.
Yes.
Because we've been doing that for a really long time, and it's really kind of a staple for a lot of teachers, but I'm sure there are people who still don't know about it. Right. And I think no matter what part of the country you're in, or in Canada, find out if there's something happening. Even if it's not somewhere you're going to go every week, that couple times a year you can get in there into the store and interact and find out what they're all about, and find out who works there, and do they perform locally, do they teach locally. Yes. We're all connected, so you got to kind of hop. That's a good hopping in point to get involved with your local retailers.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that Elliott and I have coming up together is I'm actually doing a special webinar, and we'll put the link in here as well, which is the 5 most powerful teaching techniques that every teacher needs. And this is just really a professional development information webinar, so that when you go into Schmitt Music, Music or your local retailer, you already have the background information from the author about what is the material all about and how can I work through it. And then they can give you the follow-up information about where's the yellow book, where's the blue book. But I think in working hand in hand, whether you're providing resources via a live webinar or whether you're coming into the store, you still need to go shop and look through the materials, because it's one thing to kind of see the pictures online, but it's another thing to actually, I think, flip through the book and look at all the resources and speak to that print music specialist who might even have another idea and say, hey, did you know about this? So I think that's a really important point. And of course, you are in 7 states, so you are busy, Elliott.
There's a lot to do.
Yes, there's a lot to do. So I wanted to say thank you to Elliott for joining me this morning. And remember to check out your local retailer. Go check out all the cool products that they have, what's new. Connect with your print music specialist. And if you just are browsing, maybe ask, right? Because perhaps you're not even aware that someone can help you find the resources that you're looking for. And absolutely bring not only yourself, but your students with you to kind of see what's going on. Because there's all kinds of neat little things, especially now we're going into your upcoming Schmitt Music Expo, August the 11th to the 18th. You just got to go and check everything out because it's going to be a blast.
And students are always welcome at Expo too. It's a free event, so we'd love to have them.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Well, thank you so much. We're going to put some show notes in there. And thank you, Elliott Wessel from Schmitt Music. It's schmittmusic.com if you're looking for more information. And we're also going to put the Expo notes in here as well. So you can actually download that, check it out. And do they need to register, Elliott? I should ask that.
For Expo?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have those links up soon. I don't think they're up quite yet.
Okay. All right. So then you got to get registered and then you can go get all your really cool stuff from Schmitt Music and stay connected with your local community, which also includes your local retailer. So thank you, Elliott. I really appreciate you being here with me today.
Thanks, Glory. Have a good day.
Thank you.